Former Trade Commission Chair Lina Khan is sounding the alarm on private equity firms and the impact that they're having on the healthcare industry. And she's right to do so because it turns out private equity is making your medical bills far more expensive than they need to be. And that's due to their impact on consolidation. It's making your doctor's visits far more expensive. So let's start with Khan's comments before we get to just how much your medical bills are being impacted. She spoke to the Financial Times about private equity roll-ups and strip and flips, which I had never heard of until today, but you know the concept because it's been reported on before. So a roll-up is when a private equity firm purchases and then merges businesses in the same sector. Oftentimes when that happens, a lot of people get laid off for efficiency purposes, but really it's about cost saving. And the strip and flip is when those businesses' assets are essentially sold for parts, okay? So a private equity company comes in and they just start selling off parts of the company. So Khan stated, quote, "I heard a flood of concern from healthcare workers, from ER doctors about the private equity roll-ups that were resulting in worse quality care, higher prices. These are just market realities that are not going away. Given the stakes of our healthcare markets, it's extraordinarily important that we are staying vigilant here," said Khan. "If enforcers want to decide that they want to look the other way, that's going to have, I fear, catastrophic consequences for Americans." And the FTC went after private equity firms during Lina Khan's tenure. So just days before Khan's resignation, for instance, the FTC reached a settlement with Welsh, Carson, Anderson, and Stowe that limits the buyout group's involvement with a business it created that has acquired more than a dozen anesthesiology practices in Texas. The FTC alleged the deals were aimed at raising prices and quashing competition. Man, wasn't it nice to have a cop on the beat that was actually looking out for Americans? And the Financial Times also reports that in a completely different case, Lina Khan ordered Jab Holdings to divest from veterinary clinics as a condition for two proposed acquisitions that they wanted to engage in. Now Khan is concerned that with Trump in charge, the FTC will essentially allow private equity firms to do as they wish.
Yeah, so this is why we defend Lina Khan, because you need a cop on Wall Street. And so, and if you remember, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's donors said, fire Lina Khan, fire Lina Khan. Funny how they both agree. And lo and behold, she was fired. Lo and behold, here comes private equity to ravage the country a little bit more. And so it's gonna have consequences on your prices. Why do they roll things up? Because they know that if they get enough market leverage, they'll be able to increase prices, maybe decrease costs by giving you less treatment.
Yep.
So big win for private equity as they roll these things up. And for those particular businesses, it's sometimes hard to resist when you get a nice big paycheck, and you take that home, not a paycheck, but a check for buying your business. And so I understand their motivations. That is why we need our representatives in government to make sure that these corporations can't rob us blind and to protect free markets. Free markets have a lot of competition. They don't allow for monopolies and oligopolies like this.
Yeah, in fact, let's talk a little bit about a recent study that shows how private equity is leading to much higher medical bills for Americans. So this is a groundbreaking new study published in the medical journal JAMA Health Forum, and it found that of the nearly 200,000 primary care physicians analyzed, the percentage of doctors affiliated with hospital systems has almost doubled since 2009, with about half of general practitioners affiliated with the hospital in 2022. Now, according to The Lever, family doctors are joining hospital systems because of low reimbursement rates from insurance companies, and practices affiliated with large corporations have more leverage to negotiate higher prices. And a smaller but growing portion of family doctors are selling their practices to private equity firms. So as of 2023, nearly 4 in 5 physicians were employees of hospital systems, private equity firms, insurance giants, or other corporations. And according to the study, prices for office visits are 11% higher for hospital-affiliated family doctors and 8% higher for private equity-affiliated doctors as of 2022. That's not good. Now this year, a bipartisan Senate investigation also found that patient care actually got worse after 2 massive private equity firms acquired hospitals. And while Americans absolutely do pay more for worse care, these large companies basically laugh all the way to the bank. How much so? Well, private equity firms are seeing major returns on their healthcare investments, exceeding 20% in just 3 to 5 years. In the past decade, private equity firms have spent nearly $1 trillion on roughly 8,000 healthcare deals, including primary care practices.
Yes, we don't, as the Republicans said, we don't want government getting between us and our doctors. We want private equity interests getting between us and our doctors.
And that's what's happening.
Okay, so private equity rules everything around us. Donor cash is king in Washington. So that's why we're all getting screwed in these situations, because the government's not here to protect us at all. That's what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't, because the donors bought both parties. Okay, so in the post game, are Americans satisfied with their lives? A surprising answer. tyt.com/join or hit the join button below. We'll see you there in a minute.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.